Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. It's very interesting that a country that is supposedly depleted of technology and resources and its economy is going down, its currency is going to be zero pretty soon. I'm talking about Russia, is able to innovate and technologically and especially in the military realm. They improve and they arm themselves with better weapons, and these weapons are going to be a big threat to NATO. Now, I don't know if they will use this, because as of now, I don't know, they didn't have the capability. What do the Russians do now? They are going to arm their regular traditional submarines, or they call them regular submarines. Let's put this way, not the nuclear submarines. I'm guessing from the title, with hypersonic missiles. That is, they will have the capability to shoot any target from any place, and that could be a success each and every time due to the speed of and the advancement of the hypersonic, the advances in the hypersonic technology that the Russians have. So let's look at this article coming from Sputnik. Now, it doesn't mean that what they say is true. Only experience, direct experience in war, will prove if that is true or not. Sputnik. This is from today, August 13th, 2023. Russian Navy adding hypersonic missiles to Yasen-class subs, getting new ships. So Russian project 885M Yasen-class multi-purpose nuclear-powered submarine, nuclear-powered submarine, will be re-equipped with Zircon hypersonic missiles. I know they already put Zircon on some warships. This work is already underway. The CEO of the United Shipbuilding Corporation, USC, Alexei Rachmanov, told Sputnik. The nuclear submarine of the Yasen class submarines of the Yasen class are currently equipped with the Kalibr and Onyx cruise missiles and the Fizik type torpedoes. And I'm quoting, by decision of the Russian Ministry of Defense, multi-purpose nuclear submarines of the Yasen-M project will be equipped with the Zircon missile system. Work in this direction is already underway, Rachmanov told Sputnik. Okay. The Russian Navy will also receive at least 5 more ships by the end of the year. And I'm quoting, this year we have already commissioned 3 new ships and repaired 1. By the end of the year, we expect to transfer at least 5 more ships, he added. Earlier this year, the USC CEO told Sputnik that the shipbuilding cooperation was planning to transfer at least 11 vessels to the Russian Navy in 2023, including 5 submarines, 3 nuclear ones and 2 diesel ones, as well as ships designated for new and far maritime zones. So, a country that is depleted would not be able to do these things. If you remember, if you don't, and if you're aware of it, Germany in the Second World War, part of their war efforts were diminished by their inability to get to the Urals, to get to the resources of the Soviet Union. That was one of the reasons. And military, the machinery runs on fuel, and the army runs on stomachs, empty stomachs. So you need to make sure that you got a full stomach, so that means you can feed your army, and you have energy to fuel your tanks and whatever you have over there. They lacked resources. I'm talking about the Germans. Remember when they had was the Messerschmitt 262? I think that was their jet fighter, Messerschmitt 262. That's what it was. They didn't build a lot of them. They were almost indestructible. but they didn't have fuel. They couldn't take off. They were very how do you call it, vulnerable. The 262s, the ME 262s, were the most vulnerable when they were taking off. That was the time. Once they took off, you were screwed. But if you were getting while they had long and slow takeoff, so that was the point where these guys could damage them. If they see them, boom, they destroy them if they're around. Once they're in the air, the chances diminished greatly. Again, didn't have resources, couldn't fight anybody, and they had just a few. I don't know if I said 1 or 2 escadrons. If I remember, what's his name? Adolf Galland. He was one of the chiefs in charge of all this, and then he destroyed all this. He was supposed to land them, I think, in the American side, and he destroyed all of them, all the M262s. Very interesting interviews with Adolf Galland. You should watch them. They're still online over there. And he's unapologetic towards certain individuals. What can you do? He must be evil too. So anyway, the Russians are capable of building in a state of war. When we find out, we are told every day that the Russians are running out of missiles, are incapable of bringing more tanks, are going to be depleted with this, nobody wants to fight, and these guys are building 5 more submarines, out of which 3 are nuclear, and about 12 or 11 other ships, and they're going to arm them with Zircon, hypersonic. Well, this is only talk, right? Actions speak louder than words. We'll find out. But I kind of trust what they say in this respect because they were consistent. And consistency brings trust. And unfortunately, when the Russians say, as I often say, when they tell you something, they will do it most of the time, or at least, if they tell you they're going to punch you in the face, they will. If they tell you they will give you $1, they will give you $1. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.